Yes, and then we'll take the questions at the end of the next session. Merci beaucoup and obrigado, and thank you very much.
Okay. Actually, the reason why we wanted to close this whole training by talking about the future is not only for you to be aware what will come, but also the importance of what we need to do today in order for us to leverage what will happen tomorrow. As you wanna see, I mean, AI is definitely one of the technologies that will have significant implication on how healthcare will be delivered, etc. But if countries wants to leverage the power of artificial intelligence, basically the work that needs to be done today is key. Otherwise, if you don't have the right foundation and the right data, you will not be able to leverage those technologies. So it's extremely important. If you don't want to be kind of sidelined in the future, you need to prepare from today and set the foundation. So let me maybe talk a bit about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence by no means is a new concept. It's not a new concept. I mean, people started to talk about the ability for machines to think as humans since long time ago. However, for the last few years, there has been some advances in technologies, in some advanced mathematical models, etc., that made this potential a reality. So I would like to maybe, I mean, this is definitely a very wide topic. It could not by any means be covered in half an hour, but I'll just give you a few sense of what does it mean and what are the potential and challenges, etc. I would like maybe to highlight few terms that are very common in the area of artificial intelligence. First of all is machine learning. You know, usually we are very much used to be able to program a computer, you know, to say, okay, this is what the machine will do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The machine learning is very different from that, is the fact that machine can start to understand and analyze and create their own models based on how they understand the linkages between some set of input and some set of output. So the whole idea is that machines can detect models and understand the relationship between a number of input data and a number of output data through the application of some mathematical models, etc. And the machines doesn't need to know any particular knowledge about the domain. It's just advanced statistical model and mathematical model where you can understand the relation between input and output. And I'm going to give you much more examples about what does this mean exactly. Deep learning is another term that is very much used, and it is let's say it's almost like an advanced version of the machine learning, using this new way of computing based on neural networks. So there are new paradigm in the computing that is using how our brains are thinking. It's called neural networks, and by applying those computing methodologies, you've been able to treat huge amount of data. So deep learning is exactly the same as machine learning, but that can run on much bigger sets of data. And again, the whole idea is to try to understand, if we have those input and if we have those output, what is the relation? Is there any relation? Because if we understand that there is a relationship, then we can predict. So the machine learning and deep learning are tools that are used not only for health, by the way, they are used for anything. They are very good in detecting and predicting and understanding relationship between data that usually and previously were not at all detected. And I'm going again to give you very concrete examples about how this applies to health. Another concept that it's important to kind of, because those terms you're gonna learn about, you're gonna hear about them a lot in the future. Natural language processing, NLP. Natural language processing is basically for a machine to understand how we speak. You know, the machines are very used to very structured data, but when we speak, it's a natural language. However, machines now are very, they have much more power to understand what we mean. So they just can be understanding the words, but the meaning behind the words. And this open up a whole set of new possibilities. And again, I'm going to give you some examples of how this applies for health.